What up YouTube, Topaz Yates back for another, I guess we can call this an EP review, and this one is to that Lil Dicky, I'm Brain with. This is honestly a concept project that he decided to do where Brain is like the main character within this, as if you don't know, Brain is like his own persona that he created for his music that symbolizes his brain and how he thinks of everything as he goes. But honestly, it comes off more as, okay, this is just a theme project so he can try to do commercialized trap music, but yet still remain himself, like somewhat of a gimmick so that he can somewhat do that music and still be himself and not try to like ride the waves and all of that. And to be quite honest with you, it kind of works, because when you break down just the music and just listening to it, you honestly won't like it to begin with because it just doesn't feel right at all. But yet the quality of this comes underneath the first layer. Like once you start breaking down these individual songs on what they mean and the thought process that he got behind making all of them, that's where you honestly get the substance behind this joint. As his persona, the Brain, is like super weird because it's not very lyrical from when he be spitting balls or anything like that. It's just super random, just saying random things at all times. But it comes off as a OCD, like super stoner and all that. And this is just the way that he perceives him thinking of everything. So it definitely does work in that aspect. But we're going to go ahead and break down all of these songs off this project, which I already reviewed one song that didn't even make this. I think it was called I Think I'm Jesus or whatever, and thank goodness that didn't make this joint because it wasn't that good. But honestly, it kind of would have fit in because this whole project just on the surface layer was not that good. The first song was that On Smash, which is super dry. That production really just doesn't work well with what Lil Dicky's skill set is, but honestly, it kind of makes sense. Like what he's talking about on Smash here is the Brain got the game on Smash and smashing all of these women, and they're trying to be somewhat lyrical. And there's a few instances up on here that was pretty decent lyrically, how he's saying that he feels as though he's a star on the foot like Converses, and that was dope because you guys should all know that Converses put the star on the side of their shoes, but he's saying that he's going to be a star, like the biggest star in the music industry, and he's comparing the two. Like that was pretty solid. But it's the next song where it gets really interesting on that cocaine song, because the concept is he's never taken cocaine before, but yet he's dealing with this chick who's putting a whole bunch of peer pressure on him, and he starts rethinking this whole thing and ends up taking Molly and all of that. And that's like the first verse right there. The second verse is how the Brain is reacting as things is going. Like, okay, the drugs is beginning to kick in for it, and he's starting to lose control and trying to tell everything to chill out, and then ends up throwing up. And then the last verse is more of Lil Dicky and the Brain talking like, what happened? And the Brain is like, you should have known better than to try to take Molly when you don't do cocaine or anything like that. And I feel this because this is something that needs to be more in the music industry. Instead of just promoting the good stories of, okay, I'm so high, I'm taking all these pills and everybody should get like me and all of that nonsense, give them the real on, okay, I decided to take it and I threw up all over this chick and I messed up everything that I had going on because of it. The next song is that Whipping It Up, where the basic concept here is, okay, it doesn't matter if they go out and do this expensive trip, they go ahead and buy all these expensive things, because in the end, they can just whip up some more money. And it makes sense because Brain is the one who's whipping it up, because he's talking about his success with the music industry and all of that, man, the money that he's getting from music, and his brain is honestly where that money is coming from. So therefore, if they blow a whole lot of money here, they can always get it back with some more rhymes, some more shows and all that, which is interesting, but yet it's more of a setup for the next song, because it again just showcases how random that the Brain actually is, as he's talking about some kind of tidal wave that's happening in Seattle or something, and then he jumps straight from that to field hockey. Like there's no core balls that's happening right there, but yet it's just showing you how random his thoughts are, leading you into the next skit where Lil Dicky's trying to sit the Brain down and tell him like, look man, I like what you're doing, the music is cool, but yet we can do better than this. Like, I need you to sit down and be focused, and the Brain is really not feeling what he's saying. Like, it's coming off as critique, like the record labels would critique you and you really don't want to hear none of that stuff, and then he drops the wrong words saying, okay, let's go ahead and brainstorm and do something different here. And it pretty much took him into a whole nother world where it's like the literal embodiment of what a brainstorming is to the actual brain that he has, where he's really just doing something that's more sounding like The Weeknd when he did the Starboy album and all that, man. He's taking that and trying to make like the literal description of a brainstorming, and it's comical because like Lil Dicky doesn't know what's going on the entire way, and at the end of it, really nothing comes from it and such, man. And it's like an awkward situation in the end. Like, these are the little bits of comedy that Lil Dicky is really known for that I rather enjoy. The next song is rather interesting as well, that F Slow, where this is honestly the Brain and Lil Dicky coming together talking about, okay, these chicks out here that they're having sex with, they're doing too much, and it honestly is hurting them because they want to leave like an impression because he's famous and all of that. And he's more like, okay, just tell them, let me do me, let me go ahead and have sex the way I want to do because you're kind of hurting me while doing it. And you know, he's a bit of a punk, like that's his persona that he has. Like Kevin Hart's whole persona when he's on comedy is like he's somewhat of a punk too. And that's what makes Lil Dicky rather funny, and that kind of worked here, but it really was one of the worst songs off this project. And the last song is that How Can You Sleep featuring The Game, where this one had a bit of comedy as well, because Lil Dicky in the skit before is trying to tell the Brain, like, look, can I do a song without you so I can just go all the way in right here? Like, you can be DJ Khaled. And for those of you who don't know what DJ Khaled does, all DJ Khaled does is select individual MCs to hop together on one particular production, man. He's like the executive producer, even though he's not doing much with the actual song, but yet he still does get credit for doing so. And that's what he's saying that the Brain can honestly do. And the Brain is like, why would I even select you to be on my DJ Khaled song? And he's like, come on, I'm me. And then it gives you a little bit of insight on the Brain as well, because when you think about it, the Brain could have had anybody to hop up on the song, but he chose The Game, so therefore the Game got to be one of the Brain's favorite MCs and all that, which very interesting, deep layers to go along with the song, where on this they're really just spitting and there's a bunch of really quality bars being spit here. Like Lil Dicky saying that he's trying to keep it 100, like a cubby that's trying to close on a fastball, pretty much a baseball reference here, because when you bring in the closer needs to be able to throw a fastball at least like 100 miles an hour in order to get up out the game so y'all can go ahead and go off. And he's saying he want to keep it 100, like he's trying to keep things real with everybody around him. And that was pretty cool. How he said he's trying to clear things up like proactive, man, pretty much trying to tell people, okay, this is how things are, this is how it's going to work, but yet saying clear it up as in proactive, like the pimple medicine and such that people wear on the face and all that to clear up the acne. And the Game has some moments on it as well, like telling people, don't let Mark Zuckerberg get you messed up out here, man, which that was pretty cool, because he's pretty much saying, don't be online talking ridiculous because we will come out and find you. And then how he also says that he ain't grew up near a beach or anything for you to ride his wave. Like, that was cool because that's him just giving you the background and him saying, okay, I was born in the hood and all of that, man. But yet riding the wave in the music industry is pretty much looking at what everybody else is doing who's successful and you trying to do the same thing to ride the wave. And he compares it like, okay, I never lived by the beach, so you can't ride my wave type stuff. This project was just well thought out all the way around, man. And honestly, it was well done too. It's just, I don't think it's going to fly. To keep it 100, I didn't like that production. I feel as though these individual songs were not that great, but yet it was really well done for what he's trying to do. Like, I could honestly not see him go a different way, trying to go ahead and do commercialized trap music, in which you can tell that's what the label's trying to come down on him and tell him, like, you have to do this commercialized trap music if you want any promotion from us, if you want to get this success, you need to do this. And he took it and did it in his own way, man. So I give him respect for that, but honestly, I'm not really feeling this project, and that's why I'm giving this joint, man, a 6 out of 10. But a quick recap here, man. The positives that I'm taking from this is I definitely did love the way he pieced it together. Like, it's a solid, well pieced together music here, man, but yet it's not that good. But anyway, let's jump into the news and such, man, because did you guys hear there was Fashion Week out there in New York where Nicki Minaj was out there. She did a performance for it, man. And she came out and said some deep stuff as well. Like, she was happy that she was able to go out there and perform and stuff. And then she called out the cultural appropriation that they got in the fashion industry, which is 100% real talk. Like, these people will take all of the fashion trends and everything that hip-hop artists ultimately come up with and try to ride the wave of these individuals, but yet they will blackball any fashion designer that's trying to cross over from hip-hop into that industry, man. And she called it all the way out, so much love to Nicki Minaj for that, because that is much needed. But anyway, on today's article from downloadpads.com, man, and today's article was about bonus songs, and I've been talking about this for a little minute and such, man, just never made an article about it. But here's the thing. When you get a project and they try to sell you more bonus songs to come after and all of that, man, typically you shouldn't do that, because the bonus songs that people add to projects, normally they're the songs that people was like, okay, I don't want to add this on the album because, one, it doesn't fit in, two, it's not as good, or whatever reasons that they have. But ultimately, when they start doing these, okay, we're going to milk this for every dollar that we can get out of it. Therefore, they're going to take every song that they created and decide to throw it all together and try to resell the whole album you did. Like, bonus songs are typically not the business. And that's something that everybody need to honestly understand here, man. Like, if it was a dope song, they would have automatically added it to it from the beginning. But since it wasn't that dope, they decided to hold it off and then add it as a bonus track for later, or try to stimulate some sales or something because they got more. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there, and you can go to downloadpads.com, that's down there, to read today's article.